What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be installing a gas fireplace insert into this wall. I'm going to recess it into this wall, and I'm going to build a wall out. I'm going to have to come out of this wall a little bit with another wall to make it where the fireplace is flush. I'm going to have to tear into this wall by cutting the drywall out. I'm going to have to put a header over the support in the middle, because this is a double wide, so this is a support wall here, but you can do this at any house. And then once I get the header over the top of the fireplace, I'm going to be putting the fireplace in, having a professional hook the gas line up, and then I'll be finishing the front wall here with pallet boards as an accent wall, and I'll be hanging my TV above the fireplace. The first thing we want to do is we want to find out where the center of our fireplace is going to go. In my case, I've just got this freestanding wall, so I'm going to measure from end to end, and I'm going to divide my measurement into, that's where it's going to go. But if you're going to do this on a longer wall, you can either find the center of the room, or you could just pick any spot in the room you want to put it, and then make a mark and just make sure your width is wide enough to put your fireplace, maybe a little bit extra room on the side. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure my wall here. And my wall is exactly 97 inches, which means that my middle of my wall is going to be 48 and a half inches. So I'm going to find 48 and a half, mark that, and that is the center of my wall, and that's where the center of my fireplace is going to go. Alright, so I've moved my heater back out here in front of the wall, and what I'm doing now is I'm going to kind of measure around the heater to see where I'm going to have to cut out the drywall in order to put my frame in here. I might have to cut the wall all the way up, and then I put studs to the top. Just going to see what I got when I cut into the wall, because I'm not sure exactly where the studs are lined up at yet. So basically what I've done, I've already marked from the center point that we got a while ago off the heater. The heater is, I think it was 17 inches off. I went ahead and marked 20 inches to give me a little extra room to work with, just in case I needed it on each side. And I've got a straight edge here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark across, give myself a reference to where I need to cut. So get my points lined up here. Once I got it pretty close, you don't have to be exactly level, just close. And then we're going to have my points on each side. Get it as straight up and down as you can. Just kind of eyeball it. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And this straight edge is just one I use for cutting plywood. But you can use anything, use a board or anything like that. So what I'm going to do now, the next step is going to be move this fireplace out of the way, and I'm going to cut this out and just kind of see what I've got behind the wall. I've got the heater out of the way, and then on my wall here, I've got an electrical socket. Your wall might not have an electrical socket. If so, you can just kind of skip this part. I just want to take a second to show you how to take this off if you don't know how to. And then I've got to relocate it to another part of the wall, or maybe back out on the front part of the wall when I get it built out. So the only thing you need to do this is a flat tip screwdriver. I got this one off Amazon, pretty cheap. You can get one like it off Amazon. You can get any flat tip screwdriver. This one has a Phillips head end and a flat head end. It's a good tool to have around the house. Just quick, you can throw it in a drawer, pull it out if you need to do some little task at your house or whatever. So the only thing you got to do is unscrew the screw in the middle of the socket. Take this off and set it to the side, and don't lose your little screw. Just keep in mind that the wires that are exposed will have power on unless you turn your breaker off. So I would advise going ahead and turning your breaker off just to avoid getting shocked or even electrocuted, especially if you have children around. If you do have children, either wait till they're not around to do this, or go ahead and turn your breaker off and still try to keep them out of the area if you could. I'm not sure how well you can see this line. It's a little bit of a glare, but basically all you do is just take a regular razor knife. You can get these off Amazon too. I'll put a link for those as well. Try to start a new line here. Get as close as you can. Don't have to be exact. The first cut, try to be a little more exact with it if you can. Just get you a good line. Take your time. Go slow. And go all the way from one side to the other. And once you got your mark in there, you can put your blade in there a little bit deeper and kind of push a little harder on it. You got a good groove to work with. and make things a little bit easier later. And then I'm gonna do the same thing that I did right here on this part, straight down each side. So you start at the top, go to the floor, do the same thing on the other side, do it a couple times, and then you should be able to take this whole piece of drywall out very easily. So I've got my lines scored here, or cut. Next step I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking this piece of drywall out. One thing I did forget to mention, on the light plug-ins right here, a lot of times they have little tabs that goes over the front of the drywall. So I'm going to get my screwdriver, left it over there, and I'm going to take those out too. Just be careful when you do this. Like I said, again, go ahead and cut your breaker off before you do this. I went ahead and cut my breaker off, just for safety. Plugging out. So I'm just taking that loose. I'm gonna kind of stick it back in there to the angle, and it should come out easily over that without messing it up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bust a hole through it. It makes a little bit of a mess. And it's in a double wide, you can see there's more than just drywall behind it. Regular wall, you don't have to worry about this. But with a double wide, they put this behind it to strengthen the wall up when it rides down the road to be hooked up. So that's one unique thing to do to double wides. Probably should have mentioned that before. But so it'll take a little bit more work getting this out, but basically I can still cut that with my razor knife and cut that on out. So I'm going to work on that now. And when I come back, I'll have this all out. So basically, after you get your line scored, you hit with a hammer or something, you can even cut it out, make your hole, give you something to pull on, and you can just pull it out and it should come out nice and square just like that. Alright, so I finished tearing out where I cut around. I got it cleaned up pretty good. So what I've run into now, let me just show you so you can see it easier. Easier for you to see it than me to explain it. So, a double wide, which is what this is basically, if you don't know what that is, a manufactured home. And a manufactured home is a home that's built in the factory, and a double wide is basically two single wides put together, but a little bit nicer. A lot of people have them. Vacation homes, or some people live in the permanent homes. I obviously live in one myself. This line here is where the two houses come together, which is why there's two walls built. When a mobile home is manufactured, they try to use the most inexpensive material that they can use and put them together as fast as they can in order to make a bigger profit. So you can see kind of in the wall, I'm not too far off from being at this stud here. Same thing on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out to the stud on each side, and I'm going to cut it all the way to the ceiling. I'm going to remove the molding piece, take that down, cut it all out, take that off like I did here, clean it up, and then I'm going to start framing up around the heater. So that's what we're going to do now. Alright, I hope you guys can see me okay. What I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to finish cutting from here all the way up and removing this part of the wall in order to put the frame in, to put the gas insert in, because this is a low bearing wall, and I want to make sure it's sturdy because it supports the center of the house here. So the first thing I got to do before I do that is take this piece of molding off, and I'm going to be using this later to do some of the trim work with on the sides of the wall. So what I'm going to do is I got a regular wood chisel and a hammer. I'm just going to kind of get behind the molding a little bit and pry it off. It'll have little small nails in it. They're called brad nails. So you want to be easy with it, not try to break it. If you're going to take it out and throw it away, by all means break it out to pieces if you want to. But I'm going to try to save myself a little money, and be a cheapskate and just reuse that one. So be careful if you're going to do this. Make sure you have somebody with you. You probably want to get a taller ladder than I got. I just got this little step stool. I don't recommend standing on the top of it like I'm getting ready to do, but it's all I have here that'll work, so that's what I'm going to do. So you can start behind it. You have to work your way around. Most cases, in most cases, this will be caulked too. So if it is caulked, you might have to use a little extra effort to get it off. Once you get the seal broken from the paint and caulk, it should come down pretty easily after that. That's the hard part. It's easier to start from outside. So I just found out. And be careful pulling this because you will break it. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the wall tore out. The drywall tore out all the way from floor to ceiling, and I can kind of see my studs are exposed. I took it all the way back to the edge of this stud here on this side, and did the same thing on this side. Now you can see it's not that pretty. It don't really matter though, because I'm going to be covering this whole wall up. So that's basically it. This video is running a little bit long, so I'm going to do a part 2 to this, and basically it'll be like starting with a new construction or a wall without the drywall on it. So stay tuned and check out the next video.